Right now, Senate Majority Leader, Democrat Chuck Schumer of New York. Mr. Majority Leader, thank you so much for being here. We want to get to Joe Biden's speech.
First time on your show as Majority Leader, Joe. First time on your show as Majority.
Congratulations.
That is true. And since that's the case, we're going to start with a really easy question. Let's talk about Andrew Cuomo. I'm sorry, we'll get to the other stuff first, but obviously some serious allegations leveled at Andrew Cuomo, and it took a turn for the worse yesterday. Now Albany police are involved in investigating. As a Democratic leader, not just for the Senate, but nationally, what should Democrats do? What should their approach be to Andrew Cuomo? Mayor de Blasio is saying he should resign.
Yeah, well, look, the allegations that have been brought forward against Cuomo are serious, so troubling, and should be looked at. The most recent one is just nauseating. I've always felt that sexual harassment is not tolerable. You cannot tolerate it. You can't accept it. So early on, I called for a thorough, complete investigation. It's now being undertaken by Tish James. She is an independent, strong, intelligent woman, and she has full power. She has full subpoena power for both documents and individuals. She will turn over every stone. She will get to the bottom of this, and I believe she will resist. I know her. I know her a long time. And I believe she'll resist any outside interference, political or otherwise. So I have a lot of faith in her investigation.
So we've been talking this morning about the president's speech, and I think, like most everybody else, we believe it was an important speech delivered at an important time, certainly a change of tone from the last president. We have been focused on that July 4th date for small gatherings and believe that that may be too conservative with a small c, too conservative of an estimate. What are your thoughts about when New Yorkers can expect to go back to work, to go back, all of them to go back to school, to start getting out to Yankee games?
Yes, indeed. I can't wait. My right field grandstand seat is waiting for me over there where I always sit. But in any case, it was a great speech. He hit it out of the park. I think three reasons. Number one, when I go home, the number one question I get is, when can I get the vaccine? Where is it going to be? When is it going to be, et cetera? And we finally, what a sigh of relief. I'm going to go to the White House and see competence this afternoon with the president when we do the signing at the Rose Garden. They know what they're doing. They know how to get it done. And there's been gradual, but steady progress. So the dates have gotten sooner and things have gotten better. But Joe Biden's he's going to rely on the science, and he's not going to oversell it. And you know what I really liked about that speech? No swagger. I'm doing this and aren't I great? Rather, there was empathy. This man has suffered tragedies in his life. We all know that. And he certainly empathizes, sympathizes with Americans, so many Americans who have suffered similar tragedies because of COVID. So it talked about what people wanted to hear. It didn't swagger or boast or exaggerate. And it showed real sympathy. He hit it out of the park. And let me tell you, I think lots of Republicans watching that speech are going to say, gee whiz, this guy's a lot better than I thought he was.
Mr. Majority Leader, it's Willie Geist. I look forward to those Yankee games myself as well. We're looking good in the spring anyway. I want to ask you about Nancy Pelosi's comment we played coming in. I don't know if you could hear. She was criticizing Roger Wicker and other Republicans for taking credit for what was in the bill. But you've, I noticed, taken a bit of a different tact here and say, I hope Republicans recognize and acknowledge and take some credit for what is in this bill that will help their states and perhaps show a path that you all could work together. But there are a lot of progressives, as you know better than I, who say they're never going to work with you. If they couldn't get a single vote on this bill that enjoys 75% approval in the country, what can you work with them on? So how do you view your relationship now?
Okay, well, first let me say our number one goal, and I think this is the goal of all of our caucus, from Bernie Sanders to Joe Manchin, we need change. Bold change. No one is happy with the status quo. So we have to have change. Now, my view, and I think the view of most of my caucus, is we'd prefer to work with Republicans to get that bold change. And when we can work with them, we will. As you know, as Majority Leader, I have the power, the ability to put bills on the floor. The first thing I put on the floor, my first act as Majority Leader, was a bipartisan amendment by Kirsten Sinema of Arizona, she's a Democrat, Roger Wicker of Mississippi, he's a Republican, to give help to our restaurants. It's a bold bill. It's a strong bill for the restaurants. And when they will join us, great. But I do believe this, and I've said this repeatedly over and over again, we cannot make the mistakes of 2009 and 10. We cannot underperform. They did in 2009 and 10, and unemployment lagged for a very long time. It took a long time to get the economy moving again. So big, bold action is our watchword. If we prefer to work with Republicans, we want to, we'll reach out, and where we can work with them, we will. But we will not be deterred from big, bold action when we can't work with them.
Now you
Plain and
can't,
simple.
as you know, you can't use reconciliation much longer. You can't use it except for specific cases where the budget is involved. So does that mean you'd be willing to get rid of the filibuster to get through some of these more important bills that you're working on?
Well, first, I do think reconciliation can be used again, certainly on the next part of the Biden agenda, which is Build Back Better, which is a comprehensive climate, infrastructure, job training, and science bill. And that's a large bill, and that can be reconciled. And there are probably areas there where Republicans will agree with us and areas where they won't agree with us. But we got to, again, have bold action.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank all of you out there.
Thank you as always.
Thanks to at home.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you so much for letting us into your homes during these extraordinary times.